All right. So, yeah, the grateful living. I think as we continue with the series, let me try this. Yeah, as we continue our journey, like in a grateful living sermon series, we have like 8 different T. And last time, we still remember last week, what is the T is it? Anyone? Talent. Yeah. So for this week, we are going to, my sharing is testimony. So yeah, what is testimony? Anyone? So what is testimony? Sharing experience. Anything else? Like what is testimony? So the first thing I will say, of course, go to Wikipedia, right? We have to go to Wikipedia to search everything right now. According to words meaning in Wikipedia, the testimony, the words, testimony is solemn attestations as a truth of a matter, something that's real, something is true. So in fact, for us, we always have this testimony behavior, which is, I'll give you an illustrator. Okay, so bear with me. I try to work it out. Let me give you an illustration. When we're having a holiday, we'll look for accommodation, right? Hotel, things like that. So when we look for accommodation, what we normally do, we check for the Google review, right? So the Google review is someone that already been there and share about how they feel about this hotel, these accommodations. So testimony is actually a personal review or a rating. Like I'm actually searching the hotel in the Bula, like Mount Bula, because I'm actually planning for a ski trip. So the last few weeks, I'm doing some Google search and then to see which hotel I should stay. So I try to look for the one closest and also cheaper one around Mount Bula at the village. And I find this, and I see that it's only 3 out of 5. So I don't think it's a good one. So it's actually, it helped me to offer me an insight based on other people's experience. So testimony is actually guiding us to provide a review of what to expect. Same as church. So I try to type the Gateway Church. This is what I find very interesting. In Gateway Lighthouse Church, the testimony from others say that a family-friendly, biblical preaching and great worship experience, while leaving the place filled with food, both spiritual and physical food. A good old hymn song. So yeah, so sometimes when people try to attend something, even at church, people will do Google search to see what is it, right? What about Bible? In the Bible, the word itself for the testimony is also mean witnessing. So let us, and the book of itself, the Bible book itself, is full of a testimony. Do you think that all the author, they write it down, it's just telling how they experience through the journey of faithful journey. And all actually is an all testimony story. Oh, hang on, just jump. Okay, so yeah, it's also a discipleship review, what they're experiencing, and it's about the truth of the matter. So in the Bible, so also the scripture reading for today, Peter and John often commanded by the priests and other people to stop sharing about their testimony. So yeah, so they answer the oppressor with, we cannot stop telling about everything we have seen and heard. They just had to share about the testimony. And there's no exaggeration of the testimony about change the world. remember that in the Acts talk about they spread the gospel, and then this group of the people is actually want to change the world. So they at that time they are the KOL is the key opinion leader for God for that time. And also we see a beautiful example of in Luke chapter 8. So now the man from who is the demon had depart and begged him that he may be with him. But Jesus sent him away, said, return to your house and tell what great things God has done for you. And he went his way and proclaimed throughout the whole city what great things Jesus had done for him. So that's exactly what God invites us to do. God, go and tell others about the great things that God had done for us. It's a personal, it's authentic telling what we have been experienced. So I see a beautiful example in Luke. And for me, for me, testimony, I try to use a parable. So it's like special gift from God that we get, and then we can share everyone else. It's a gift from God to you. So it's a testimony which has helped everyone. And you receive a joy of the receiving gifts. I think recently in a coffee we study about the love language, right? And it's also a gift. It's also one of the love language. So I think the testimony is really like a gift. So it's a joy that receive the gifts, and our story is uphold both ourselves and people who are listening. By sharing our testimony, we are passing on a gift that promote healing and growth that all involve. And also it's a story show how God works. When we share about testimony, it's like unwrapping the gift that showcase that God is working in our life. So every story is tangible display that his love, God's love and caring. And also this gift, this story is of the gift, is very personal. It's a unique from God. It's a tailor-made for us. Have you ever received that gift that, you receive a gift that people think about you, and then it's really tailor-made for you. And then expressing the gratitude for this gift and sharing it for the way that we can share for others, that spread his blessing as well. So also the last one thing and share, so reflecting our own personal testimony is like examining the gift that we have received. Then share it like offering other special gift to others. Potentially the gift that we receive can be helping someone else for their faithful journey as well. So imagine that at that time when all the disciples received the I like the children's story, the Paul, because he's actually received the gift from God, from Jesus, and then he just go on for his faithful journey and share with the others. So sometimes we may feel hesitate to share our gift to others, particularly to those we believe may not be appreciated or accepted. But in this Matthew 10:18, you will be brought to before governor and kings for my sake, and as a testimony to them and to the Gentiles. Sometimes we may hesitate to give it out. Or sometimes I think that I'm not good enough. Sometimes we may feel that we are not good enough to share our story, our gift to the others, right? But remember, our story is a gift from God. They show how His work in our life. So when we share to them, it's like we're showing others real proof of God's love and care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we think we are not good enough, because our story are not about being good enough. It's about God being with us. So in this 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 1, and I, brother, when I came to you, did not come with excellent speech or wisdom to declare to you the testimony of God. And yeah, and this is a testimony that God has given us an eternity life. And this is life in his Son, which is in 1 John chapter 5, verse 11. That's what we testify of. That's we have been saved. God has given us an eternity life right now. And we are now living out our life in Jesus. That's a simple, which is a good news to share. Yeah, as we doing the rest of the this grateful series, I think we have, let's look at the great controversy. That's a great cosmic battle. We are in a cosmic battle that's happening around our testimony. When God tells us that we share our testimony, our strength of faith, and your strength that with others, but Satan normally said that what? No one is interested in your testimony. If you try to share it, your testimony to work or school, well, people will try to avoid you. When God said it's simple, Christ-centered testimony can overcome the Satan and his temptations. Well, the other side, your enemy will say that will discourage you, say your testimony isn't powerful enough to share, so don't bother. And also the Bible tells us that every person can testify to something God has done or is doing in their life. But also at the same time, Satan will be counter this, say that God hasn't really done anything in your life. It's just all coincidence. I heard this coincidence for so many times, especially when I'm in Hong Kong, with all the faithful walk with all the brother and sister, Bible student. They all have said, hey, this is a coincidence. So if one coincidence is a coincidence, but what about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? And it's all happening to me and to you. This is definitely not a coincidence. It's actually a God's plan. So when God tells us that accept courage for him to share our testimony at every opportunity, whilst Satan also tempts us for attracting and distracting. And the world, and we'll keep saying that, go out and live out with a wild life, wild side, so that you have a cool testimony. So with all this great testimony controversy, the world as well is so real. So be the victory as well. So today, I would like to conclude my talk today by sharing my personal testimony. And yeah, the topic is about testimony. I would like to share, I try to compact all my story into one PowerPoint. So, which is God is able to turn my test into a testimony, a mess into a message, a missile into a ministry, and a trial into a trumpet. So, yeah, it's my testimony. Does that work? Yeah, that's me. That's me. Not the kids, right? The one on the right. The one on the right. It's my wife and my son. I think this picture is back to 20 years ago. Yeah, 20 years ago. That's what I used to be. Being a husband, I think we married for like 25 years, and a father. I got a son. Well, he's actually grown up now. He's actually 23, right? 23 years old right now, and yeah, you can see that from outlook, it changed a lot. Yeah, it not just outside, it's also inside as well. It's because of God. And I'm a father, I'm a husband, and I'm also a workaholic. I like to work. I like to work very much. Try to press. Yeah. I like to work as a regional role that for all product and campaign development. I like every single campaign that I did for last so many years. And this is some of my design work back to when I work in Hong Kong. And yeah, I love every single campaign. I witness things how can be good sales, people line up, and then, yeah, I love my work for so many years. And back in 2005, I meet my coworkers, and he's actually an elder in Sydney Chinese church. And I get to know him, and that's what I still used to be back in 2005. So, but during that time, I must say that I didn't have any peace. I didn't have any peace. It's far away from a peaceful person. I didn't have any peace, but I don't really care. Actually, I'm just keep working, just chasing a lot of career growth, statics. So even I don't have any peace, but especially when in 2010, my family member passed away, and I start to think, yeah, should I do something different? Whether I should start thinking to change my life. But how? I don't know how. I don't know how I can have more peaceful life without anger. Yeah, so it's interesting when I try to do something in my life, I find out this. When I look back to 1984, at that time I'm still studying in Hong Kong in a primary school, and I still remember during the evangelism meeting, there's some calling for whether you want to follow Jesus. I actually wrote down on a paper, said that I have decided to follow Jesus, which is back in 1984. But I cross it out. See that the paper notes there? I cross it out, which is where I decided to follow Jesus, which is back in 1984. And well, it's took me 27 years. After 27 years in 2000, remember that I mentioned about 2010, I really want to make some change because my health no good, and then I don't have any peace. Yeah, I was so stressed in my life because I just want to keep focusing on work. But that's why in 2011, I start to participate in joining the care group in Sydney Church. I still remember that at that night, when I first joining, they share about this Bible verse. Ask and you shall be given to you. Seek and you shall find. Knock and you shall be opened to you. For each one who asks to receive, and he who seek find, and to him who knock, it shall be opened. In Matthew 7, chapter 7 is verse 7 to 8. This Bible verse, I still remember at that night, they share about the topic about death. And I still remember because at that time, my family member just passed away, but I still don't understand when they talk about the death, how come they feel joy? They're happy from their face. I think there's something wrong with it, of this group of the people. And they share about this Bible verse. And then, okay, let me go and try to find, to seek, and whether I can find. I try to lock, whether it can open it for me. And because in this Bible verse, it's all about exploration. So this is where I'm starting. This Bible verse helped me to start my explorations for my life. And in 2014, and it's the same person, okay? In 2014, I'm baptism. And yeah, see the run on the right, it's the same elder in Sydney Church. So yeah, so in 2014, I get baptism. Also, I have an opportunity go back to Hong Kong to join the Hong Kong Harvest Care Group at that time. So yeah, one day very interesting that I tried to dig out this photo and I find out, how come Daryl is there? Daryl is on the top left. So it's very interesting that at that time I joining the Harvest Care Group, and then I blessed it. At the same time, I'm so blessed to witnessing the church plant, and now they become a Harvest Church, a Hong Kong Harvest Church. Yeah, and you can see some familiar face there. And I'm blessed also. I can learn the Word of God and become the Fast Discipleship team in 2014. So the Fast Discipleship team is actually helping me to survive. Remember the Fast level 1 is talk about survival key. Yeah, I learned to be survive, learn to become live out the Word of God. So it'll become this, learning to apply biblical principle into different parts of my life, which is in applying to all different areas of my life, like the health, like the friends, time, family, career, also ministry. And learning how to let Jesus take my wheel. I've been trying for this car take a wheel for so long, but I'm so stressed. I let Jesus take the wheel. And amazing part is my family, thanks God, my family also baptism in 2015 and 2017, which is my son, my mom, and my wife as well. So I'm still in the church, learning the discipleship, and I try to live it out, and then learning to running care group, being participate, and then I learn a lot through this process. So as you can see, some familiar faces. Also, Tina is also in my care group at that time. But yes, I'm still a workaholic. No matter what, I learn everything. I am still a workaholic, but still, I'm a workaholic. And I used to work even when I'm sick. In 2017, I caught a cold, but I'm still working as usual. Well, taking a medication, go to work, didn't take any rest. But suddenly, on the morning of the third day that I catch a cold, I want to go and wake up and then go to work. But I feel weird. My throat just so uncomfort, and I couldn't breathe. I got up and then I called a car and then want to go to hospital. But then I find out I couldn't speak at all. And then I go in the hospital. Yeah, you can see some familiar faces as well. Cindy is also there. I think Cindy is online. Remember Cindy come to visit me. And then when I'm staying in the hospital, and then and the doctor just do all the scan, and then they find out that during the hospital examinations, they discovered there's a bacteria has entered into my bottom of my throat, which make it swollen, and affecting. See the one on the right? It's actually the time that I have that problem. See that the airflow, and then the left one is my previous X-ray, but you can tell that there is a swollen that make me cannot speak, cannot breathe, and the doctor keep asking me I need to perform a surgery right now. Otherwise, I cannot breathe. They can't even cut because if more swollen, they cannot cut, and then I cannot breathe. It will be a high risk that it can cost a lot of money. And you know what? At that time, my mind, that's like this. Nothing. At the time, my life is like in a room without any light. When facing, you'll be dying for the next minute. I couldn't think anything. I couldn't think about the road ahead. What my achieving, I'm a workaholic. I earning for all those working, and then I try to climb the corporate ladder, but at the end of it, there'll be nothing. All the words cannot describe how despair might describe my feeling at that time. There's only one left, the darkness. After enduring for 6 hours, while the church members keep praying for me, I've been in the emergency for like 6 hours. And then the doctors keep asking me my permission that I need to go to surgery right away. They also came to the hospital, surrounding my bed for praying, which I cannot speak. All I have to do is silent prayer and all darkness. I can't tell what's next. But suddenly, there's a very interesting feeling. There's a projector in my mind, just like that. A projector, projecting. Imagine that there's a movie theater in your brain, and suddenly there's a light and projecting some visual. The visual of Jesus' miracle happening in this dark room, especially the scenes of Jesus healing people, healing the blind, healing the paralyzed, healing the leprosy, turning the water into wine, 5 loaves and 2 fish, feeding thousands, calm the storm, walk on water, and suddenly there is a light. I show you all this is exactly at that moment. It can be 1 second like this, all flashing in my mind, all the black and white screen of how Jesus' miracle done in the Bible. And suddenly there's a light. And there's a voice. Jesus will save you. That's why I can hear at that time. And the voice said that to me, Jesus will save you. So at that time, I still remember that because I'm closing my eyes, all my brother and sister actually are surrounding my bed, they're praying. And I just close my eyes for the silent prayer and I hear the voice. At the same time, I hear that voice. And the doctor just came around to our bed and interrupted our prayer. It's just right at the time that I heard the voice. And the next voice is the doctor. I'll be asking, hey, can you tell me whether you want to do the surgery? He wants to know if I'm ready for the operation. He's actually interrupted our prayer and then asking, hey, Mr. Chow, do you want to do the operation? And I look at him because all the brothers and sisters are actually surrounding me. And I just look at him and I do like this. And I said, no need, we will wait. In the core of my being, I'm not certain, but I'm so uncertain or certain that I will have a witnessing of the healing power of Jesus. But I'm still doubt, even though I hear that voice. And sure enough, the miracle is after 4 days, I was discharged from a hospital without any surgery. And so many times in our life, when all the paths seems to be blocked, when there seems to be no way, God will make a way. Through our prayer at the time that we cannot fix it, God can fix it. I thank you so much for the brother and sister on different area on the church over that. Yeah, they prayed for me for those like 4 days. And the miracle part is I'm going into the hospital on Thursday morning, and then on the Friday, they do the scan. They said that my swollen didn't go worse, but didn't get any better. But on the Saturday morning, I feel my swollen, I can start breathing. And then the Sunday, I can eating. And then Monday, I can discharge. And yeah, and I got this gift. When I discharged, I remember I still got this gift from my brother to remind me this incident. And I wrote something here, actually. In 2017, August of 17 of August 2017, I wrote faith and forgiveness. Whether we believe in, that's God can help us. God can forgive us. Thanks God that I can experience His healing power. Yeah, very close, very touching. Even though it's only 1 second, that I got all the visual, I got the voice that Jesus will save me. And that's helped me, that I can still stand right here. And this reminds me, this Bible verse that, but as it's been written, eyes has not been seen, nor ears can hear, nor is can enter into the heart of man. The things that God has prepared for those who love Him in 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 9. So a miracle is just ahead, but whether we believe it or not. So when I look back my journey of a faithful journey, so from 1984, I get to know Jesus, I get to know God, but I cross it out. In 2014, I reborn, get baptism, and in 2017, I got healed, I truly healed from God. Not just physically, also mentally. And then from then, I started to equip myself to go and study counseling because I think my life is no longer belong to me. It belonged to God, that what God want me to go, want me to learn. So in 2022, so I move forward. So I feel like I'm a story like a prodigal son. I come back to here. So in 2024, and I'm 2023, I'll be here, Religion Center, to share with you, everyone, of brother and sister, church family. When I look back, yeah, it's amazing that I can see how my life been a lot of decision making, a lot of choice. Through the choice, we grow. Through the choice, we experience. To remember. All of these experiences actually help us to remember. All the difficulty time, the thing that you cannot solve, all the hard time in your life, it's actually help us to remember. To remember Jesus has died for us. To remember the love. To remember the hope. As most importantly, where love and hopes is to remember our identity of being of children of God. For the love of, I want to share, at the end of it, we want to share two of my favorite Bible verses for you. For the love of Christ constraining us, judging us, that if one died for us, then all die, and He died for us. That the living ones may live no more to themselves, but to Him who died for them and having been raised. And the peace, I leave it with you. My peace, I give it to you. Not as the world that given, do I give it to you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. So, brother and sister, when we facing to the dark room in your life, the dark corner in your life, we'll see the light as long as we believe. I'm sure everyone will be going through that moment in their life, but yeah, trust in God, pray for it, and you'll be knowing what Jesus will save you, will help you, to encourage you. It's all from Him. So as we finish our time together today, I want to encourage you to keep the fire of your testimony burning so that your children, your neighbors, your colleagues can warm their hand and hearts on the fire of your faith. And remember that our testimony must be spoken and lifted, one without the others as little impact. We need to be living witnesses to the joy of salvation, to the benefit of living the abundant life that Jesus came to give to all. As we said so clearly and then yet wisely, if you ever have been experienced safe, notified on your face, right? There's no witnessing so powerful that's a living testimony of loving and lovable Christians. My reflections question for you this morning is, well, do you want to share your gift to the others? A gift that showcases God's works in our life. We're grateful living lead to achievable giving. Thanks God.
Thank you, Gordon, for your share.